Getting ready to come in here to Math 10 Quarter 1 Week 1, and let's go right into Math 10 Quarter 1 Week 1 lessons for week number 1. You got PowerPoint edition and you got MP4 editions here, so video and PowerPoint. Name date here, students, register in, sign up for your lesson plan. And going in here to Math 10 Quarter 1 Week 1 of classwork, homework sheets, quiz, test, pacing guide of edition 1, or for week 1, our assignments for week 1 are: after you pass your pretest, students, you go into 1.0 orientation, classwork part 1, 1.1 finding, describing patterns, classwork homework part 1, 1.2 inductive reasoning, classwork homework part 1, 1.2 inductive reasoning, classwork homework part 2, and then 1.3 point signs planes, classwork homework part 1. And then the standards, here's your pretest. The standards that we're concerned about when we start off is Common Core 9 through 12, point G, point CO, point 1, no precise definitions of angle, circle, perpendicular line, parallel line, and line segment based on the undefined notions of point, line, distance along a line, and distance around a circular arc. And another standard here for week 1 is prove theorems about lines and angles, G, CO, point 9. Use angle relationships to justify whether lines are parallel or perpendicular, and then apply a reasoning to real-world and geometric context. And then let's see, we have CO1 there. And then our learning targets here are: recognize these terms as based on undefined notions in geometry, apply definitions to identify and describe geometric figures and diagrams in real-world context. And then our intro is to week 1, prove theorems about the lines and angles, G, CO, point 9, and use angle relationships to justify whether lines are parallel or perpendicular, apply reasoning to real-world and geometric context. And again, another basic standard in week 1 is Common Core 9 through 12, G, point CO, point 1, no precise definitions of angle, circle, perpendicular line, parallel line, and line segment based on the undefined notions of point, line, and distance along a line, and distance around a circular arc. So we hit that. And then our learning targets will be: understand and use precise definitions of point, line, segment, ray, and plane. Recognize these terms as based on undefined notions in geometry. Apply definitions to identify and describe geometric figures and diagrams in real-world context. So we're trying to bring this into the real world here. Then our resource materials are animated PowerPoints and or MP4 versions of lessons, classwork, homework, quiz, test, worksheets, activities, and tasks. All classwork sheets are a closed exercise from PowerPoints or MP4s, homework, quizzes, and test assignments available online with corrections provided after submission dates. Access for all, available in over 100 languages, available online 24/7, closed caption for hearing impaired, audio for sight impaired. Classwork is 174 points of classwork for week 1. Note taking is 2 points. Homework is 167 points. Quiz is 0. Test is 55 points. So the total for week 1 is 398 points for week 1. And then going in here to modifications and accommodations, available online via Google Classroom interface, that is grades, classwork, homework, quizzes, tests, Zoom tutoring on request for Math 10 Quarter 1 Week 1 lesson plan. So we start out here with your pretest, which is Chapter 13 mid-chapter quiz from pre-algebra, 55 points for your pretest. And then we go into our orientation, geometry orientation 1.0, 44 points of classwork. And then after our orientation, we go into 1.1, finding and describing patterns, 42 points of classwork, 2 points of note-taking, and then the standards for this part of week 1 is Common Core 9 through 12, S.MD.6, use probabilities to make fair decisions. That is drawing by lots using a random number generator, and then finding, describing patterns. Homework part 1 is 72 points. Then we go into 1.2, classwork is 36 points for your classwork. And then 1.2, inductive reasoning homework is 50 points for your homework. And then we go in to finish off here. 1.2, classwork part 2, inductive reasoning, 20 points of classwork. And then the homework for 1.2, inductive reasoning part 2 is 45 points of homework. And animated, animated. Then we have a classwork here, part 1. We go into 1.3, classwork, 32 points for 1.3, part 1, points, lines, and planes. Now we go into the standards for this part of week 1 is this is like what our 4th standard for week 1. Common Core 9 through 12, point S, point MD, point 6, use probabilities to make fair decisions. For example, drawing by lots using a random number generator. Animated PowerPoint math video at AO.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.